They'll underestimate you until it's too late. That's the beauty of silence. You see, most people can't stand being quiet. They crave attention. They want to announce their every move, explain their every dream, and seek validation for every step they take. But here's the truth. Real power moves in silence. The most dangerous person in any room isn't the loudest voice. It's the one who says nothing, yet knows exactly where they're going. When you tell people what you're doing, you invite their doubts, their jealousy, their opinions, and suddenly what once belonged to you is now open to their influence. You hand over control without even realizing it. But when you move quietly, you protect your vision, you protect your peace, and most importantly, you protect your power. Think about it. Every great success story begins in private. The athlete trains when no one's watching. The entrepreneur builds in the dark. The artist practices when the world is asleep. The noise comes after the work, not before it. You don't need to tell the world what you're planning to do. You don't need to prove yourself before you're ready. Because the moment you start explaining your vision to people who can't see it, you weaken it. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your becoming. So let them talk. Let them assume. Let them think you're quiet because you have nothing going on. Meanwhile, you're building, you're growing, you're evolving in silence. Because when you finally step out, when you finally reveal what you've been working on, the world won't just see success. It'll see transformation. And that right there is the secret. Never tell people what you're doing. Let your results make the announcement. Privacy is not about secrecy. It's about protection. It's the quiet space where your dreams can breathe before the world tries to suffocate them with opinions, judgments, and noise. When you talk too soon, when you reveal too much, you expose what's still fragile inside you. Every word you speak gives people an opening to interfere, to doubt, to question, and that doubt seeps into your spirit like poison. Not because they're smarter than you, but because the human mind is sensitive to energy. The moment you start explaining your path, your focus begins to scatter. There's power in letting your moves remain unseen. When people don't know what you're doing, they can't prepare to block it. They can't compete with it. They can't distort it. Silence keeps you unpredictable, and unpredictability is a weapon. It keeps you one step ahead. Think of your life like a chessboard. When your next move is obvious, you lose your advantage. But when you're quiet, your progress becomes invisible until it's undeniable. Every major breakthrough you've ever admired began in private. The seed grows in the dark before it ever breaks the surface. The muscle is built in the unseen hours before it shows on the body. The idea is refined in solitude before it changes the world. So why are you rushing to announce what hasn't even been built yet? Silence doesn't mean you're doing nothing. It means you're protecting something worth doing. You owe no explanations to anyone while you're in the process of becoming. Let your silence be your armor, your discipline, your focus. Because when you're quiet, your energy doesn't leak. It multiplies, and when the time is right, your results will make more noise than your words ever could. You don't need to tell people who you are. You show them. You show them through the consistency of your actions, the discipline of your habits, and the results you produce when no one is watching. Words are easy, they sound powerful, they feel good, but they don't build anything real. Work does. The world is full of people who talk about what they're going to do someday. They talk about dreams, plans, and goals, but talk never built an empire. Talk never changed a life. Execution did. The truth is, every time you speak about what you're going to do, you release a little bit of that drive, that hunger. You get a temporary high from saying it, but you lose the urgency to actually make it happen. Silence keeps that hunger alive. It keeps your goals sacred, your ambition pure. When you stop talking and start doing, something powerful happens. You shift from performance to purpose. You no longer work for validation. You work for mastery. People might overlook you. They might think you're not doing much. Let them. Because when your work finally speaks, it will speak louder than every conversation they've ever had about you. Your results will tell your story. Your discipline will prove your worth. The way you carry yourself, the way you show up every single day will make them understand you're not chasing attention. You're chasing excellence. Remember, silence doesn't mean absence. It means presence without performance. You're not disappearing. You're evolving. You're crafting something that doesn't need to be explained. It needs to be witnessed. Let your work become your voice. Let your results become your reputation. Because in the end, people might forget what you said, but they will never forget what you built. Focus is the difference between potential and power. Everyone has dreams, but few have the discipline to lock in, block out the noise, and stay consistent when the world keeps pulling at their attention. Focus is not something you find, it's something you build, moment by moment, choice by choice. Every distraction you ignore strengthens it. Every unnecessary conversation you walk away from protects it. Your ability to focus determines how far you go, how strong you become, and how fast you grow. The reason silence is so powerful is because it eliminates the distractions that steal your focus. When you stop explaining yourself to others, when you stop seeking validation for every move you make, your energy becomes concentrated. Your time becomes intentional. You begin to operate with precision instead of pressure. The people who can stay focused in a world that thrives on noise are the ones who rise above it. They're not chasing everything. They're mastering one thing at a time. Focus is also emotional discipline. It means refusing to let other people's opinions, envy, or criticism shift your path. It's understanding that not every battle deserves your attention and not every noise deserves your response. The mind that's scattered can't create, it reacts. But the mind that's centered can't be manipulated. It creates results. Every time you give your energy to distractions, gossip, comparison, overthinking, you lose a little of your edge. You dull the sharpness of your purpose. Protecting your focus means protecting your future. The most unstoppable people aren't the loudest. They're the ones so absorbed in their mission that the world becomes background noise. When you guard your focus, you gain clarity. And with clarity, you become unstoppable. Because focus, when mastered, turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. The world loves to celebrate the victory, but it rarely respects the grind that came before it. People cheer when you win, but they're silent during the nights you fought your doubts alone. They see the outcome, not the effort. That's why the most powerful growth happens in private. That's where you fall, learn, fail, and rebuild, without the world watching. In silence, there's no audience, just raw, honest work. That's where confidence is born, not from praise but from perseverance. When you bleed in private, you learn to depend on your own strength. You learn to be your own motivation, your own coach, your own believer. That's the kind of resilience no one can take from you. Because when you've endured the process without applause, you no longer need it. You start moving for purpose, not validation. You start showing up because it's who you are, not because someone's watching. That's when you become unstoppable. Every champion you've ever admired, trained in the dark. Every success story you've seen was written in quiet hours, when no one cared, when no one believed. Those who win in public are simply revealing what they've already proven in private. They've already done the work. They've already built the strength. The moment of victory isn't luck. It's the unveiling of years of hidden preparation. So don't rush your season of silence. Don't be ashamed of your grind. It's not meant to be glamorous. It's meant to be gritty. Your private battles are shaping the character your public victories will require. Let the world be surprised when you rise. But never let yourself be, because you'll know you earned it in the unseen hours when no one was watching, and that's what makes the win mean something. Emotional discipline is one of the rarest and most powerful forms of strength you can develop. It's not about suppressing how you feel. It's about mastering when and how you express it. When you can control your reactions, you control your reality. Most people are emotionally predictable. You can read their mood, trigger their anger, or manipulate their decisions just by observing them. But when you learn to hold your composure, you become unreadable. And when people can't read you, they can't control you. The truth is, The loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. They reveal everything: what hurts them, what drives them, what scares them. But power lives in stillness. Real strength is calm. It's being able to hear something that offends you, yet stay centered. It's knowing someone is testing you, yet refusing to give them the satisfaction of seeing you break. Silence in those moments isn't weakness, it's dominance. You're showing that your emotions belong to you, not to them. Emotional discipline also means not needing to explain yourself all the time. You don't have to tell people what you feel or what you're planning. You don't owe access to your thoughts, your pain, or your process. When you move quietly, people start to wonder, they become uncertain. And uncertainty is power. You become mysterious, and mystery commands respect. Every time you react impulsively, you give someone else control. But when you respond with patience and purpose, you hold all the cards. Don't let anyone pull you out of character. Don't let their chaos infect your calm. The most confident people don't need to prove their worth through emotion. They demonstrate it through control. Because emotional discipline is what separates those who are influenced by the world from those who quietly influence it. In the end, the most powerful version of you will always be the one who moves in silence, works without applause, and lets the results speak for themselves. The world doesn't need to hear your plans. It needs to feel your impact. You don't owe explanations, validation, or proof to anyone. Your energy, your vision, your discipline, these are sacred. Protect them like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Every moment you stay focused, every time you choose privacy over performance, every time you keep your emotions in check, you're building an inner foundation that no one can shake. You're training yourself to become steady in a world that thrives on chaos. And that steadiness, that quiet power, is what separates the ordinary from the exceptional. Remember this: lions don't announce when they hunt. They move silently and strike with precision. Be that lion. Stay calm, stay focused, stay consistent. Let others talk, post, brag, and perform. You just build. You just execute. You just rise. Because when the time comes, and it will, you won't need to tell anyone who you are. They'll see it, they'll feel it. And your silence will echo louder than any noise they've ever made. Move quietly. Work fiercely. Win loudly.